Landon Marks sat in his modern downtown office, eyes locked on a customer complaint email glowing on his monitor. It wasn't the first, not even close. Over the past few months, a disturbing trend had begun to emerge: allegations of rude salespeople, pushy sales tactics, and a general air of condescension toward customers who didn't look the part at his luxury auto dealership chain. Landon had inherited the business from his father 2 years prior. With 10 locations to oversee, he had trusted his managers to maintain standards. Maybe he had trusted them too much. This latest complaint hit particularly hard. A teenager had walked into one of the showrooms with a genuine interest in a high-end sports car, only to be brushed off and ridiculed. The email, sent by an older customer who had witnessed the interaction, described how the teen was humiliated and ignored simply because of his youthful appearance. The writer had left without making a purchase, disgusted by what he saw. Landon tightened his jaw. His father had built this empire on one unwavering principle: respect every customer. No exceptions. Clearly, that core value was slipping through the cracks. The executives had reassured him that things were running fine, but he no longer bought it. Second-hand reports were no substitute for first-hand experience. He needed to see the truth for himself. He made up his mind. He would go undercover. He shaved off his meticulously trimmed beard and swapped his tailored suits for jeans, a basic hoodie, and worn sneakers. A baseball cap pulled low over his brow completed the transformation. Dressed down and incognito, Landon bore no resemblance to the CEO he was. He selected one of the dealership branches with the highest number of complaints, a high-traffic location overseen by a longtime manager named Carl Benson. Landon had never dealt with Carl directly, which made it an ideal test case. He pulled into the dealership lot and took a long breath before stepping out of his car. The glossy showroom sparkled under bright overhead lights, lined with rows of high-performance vehicles. Inside, a few salespeople chatted idly, showing little interest in the sparse number of customers browsing. Then Landon spotted him, a teenage boy, probably 16 or 17, standing by a sleek crimson sports car. The kid ran his fingers along the car's paint, eyes wide with excitement and curiosity. A tall, sharply dressed salesman with slicked-back hair walked right past the teen without a glance. The boy gathered his courage and asked, "Excuse me, sir. Could I ask about this car?" The salesman chuckled without stopping. "Kid, this isn't a toy aisle. Come back when you've got a real bank account." Landon's gut clenched. The boy flushed but didn't move away. "I just wanted to learn about it," he said quietly. The salesman sneered. "Yeah? Learning with Daddy's credit card?" Before Landon could step in, another salesman joined in. "Toby, don't bother. He's not buying." Landon had seen enough. But before he blew his cover, he needed more. He wandered toward the same car and mimicked the teen's earlier gesture. "I'm curious about this model too," he said. Toby glanced at him, smirked at Landon's casual attire, and scoffed. "You serious? That car costs more than your whole look. So you won't help me?" Landon asked, voice even. Toby sighed, exasperated. "Look, we don't hand out test drives to dreamers. You buying or playing pretend?" "What if I was serious?" Landon asked. "Then this isn't how serious people shop. Real buyers know what they want before they step in the door. You don't." Landon glanced at the boy, still lingering nearby, watching in silence. Instead of lashing out, Landon nodded politely. "Thanks for your time," he said, walking away. He passed Carl, the manager, who was laughing with another employee. He hadn't intervened once. The next morning, Landon returned. Not as a customer this time, but as a new hire. Using a fabricated backstory and a different name, he had quietly entered the system with help from a friend in HR. The receptionist barely acknowledged him before waving him toward Carl's office. Carl glanced up when Landon entered, visibly unimpressed. "You the new trainee?" Landon nodded. "Here's how it works," Carl said without getting up. "You shadow the senior guys. Don't screw up. Don't slow them down. Bring in cash, and we'll talk commission. Otherwise, don't expect much." Landon offered a neutral smile. "Understood." Carl waved him off. "Go find Toby. He'll show you the ropes." Out on the showroom floor, Toby barely looked at him. "Great," Toby muttered. "Another greenhorn." Landon followed him, silently observing. Toby ignored most customers unless they wore suits or had expensive watches. A man in designer attire strolled in, and Toby lit up like a Christmas tree, becoming suddenly charming and informative. When the well-dressed man said he was just browsing, Toby was all smiles. "Take all the time you need, sir. Let me know if you have any questions." The contrast to his behavior the day before was staggering. Later, Another salesman patted Toby on the back, showing the rookie how to spot the real buyers. You know it, Toby grinned. What happens if you're wrong? Landon asked. I'm not, Toby replied smugly. Landon shifted the topic. How's the culture here? Toby shrugged. Sell or sink. Simple as that. Nearby, a young woman in uniform walked by with a stack of paperwork. Toby muttered something crude under his breath. She stiffened but didn't react. Who is she? Landon asked. Natalie. Finance. Bit of a tightwad. Landon didn't like the tone. He found Natalie in the break room later. You the new guy? She asked. Yeah, he nodded. Just trying to get my bearings. They send you to Shadow, Toby? Yep. She sighed. Watch your back. That bad. She looked around, then leaned in. If you're not in their club, you don't matter. Carl doesn't care as long as the numbers look good. Landon nodded thoughtfully. He'd seen enough. Back on the floor, he approached a customer in worn jeans eyeing an SUV. Thinking about this one? The man looked up, surprised. Yeah, just browsing. Landon smiled. Great engine, smooth ride. What caught your eye? I run a small business. Need something reliable. Makes sense. Want me to walk you through the specs? The man hesitated. I came in last week. Nobody gave me the time of day. Landon forced a calm breath. Well, you matter to me. Let's take a proper look. He walked the customer through features and left his info. As he turned, Carl was there. Trying to make a point? Carl asked. Just doing my job, Landon replied. We don't waste time on browsers, Carl snapped. And how do you determine that? By their shoes. Carl sneered. Experience. Landon took off his cap, meeting Carl's eyes. Good. Then let's talk about your experience with quotas. Carl frowned. What? Landon extended a hand. I'm Landon Marks. CEO. Carl paled. Silence fell across the showroom. Toby froze. You're joking, Carl muttered. No. I've spent the past 2 days watching this store operate, and what I saw is unacceptable. Toby stammered. That's just how things work. No, Landon interrupted. That's how you choose to work. Disrespecting customers, dismissing hard-working employees. Carl whispered, I didn't know. You didn't care, Landon shot back. Which is worse? He addressed the staff. This isn't how we built this business. My father treated everyone with dignity. We're going back to that. He turned back to Carl. You're done. Effective immediately. Carl sputtered. You can't. I can. And I just did. Turning to Toby, Landon said, you have one chance to turn things around. But slip up again, and you're out. He addressed the group. If you want to be part of a dealership that values people, you can stay. If not, there's the door. He found Natalie again. I need help fixing this. You in? She studied him. Yeah, I'm in. As Landon left the building, he spotted the teenage boy from before outside, staring at the red car. Still dreaming about it? He asked. The kid nodded. Come on, Landon said. Let's take a look. He opened the car door and let the teen sit behind the wheel. Ever thought about working with cars? The boy hesitated. Maybe. But people don't expect much when you don't come from money. Don't let them decide your future, Landon said. The boy looked up. You really believe that? I do. And he meant it. Because this dealership, his company, was going to be about more than money again. It would be about people. And it started right there, with a boy, a dream, and a second chance.